And a very good evening to you. I am Griffin Epstein, joining you live from the Petaluma High gym as the Petaluma boys varsity basketball team takes on the Molino Lions in the Trojans SCL home opener. It should be a fun one between these two squads. Molino very young, but they played very well in their first league game. They only lost by 10 to defending champion and their rival Annalee on Tuesday. The Trojans come in a little bit shaky, 7-7 on the year. However, they come in as the favorites with Pioneer still to win the SCL title, and they had a good debut with their SCL play on Thursday as they defeated LC Allen by a score of 56-44, rebounding from a rough Clovis tournament where they lost 3 of 4, but they took a lot of experience there, playing a lot of strong Division I teams. They've had a lot of close losses so far, so that record a little bit lower than they like, but now they're into conference play. Every game is pivotal here. Them, Pioneer, and Healdsburg are the 3 favorites to win SCL. Petaluma Varsity Boys Basketball has not won SCL since 1993, so the Trojans need to stay focused every game. They had a bad loss early in the year to a Novato team, so they can't be asleep looking ahead to a big road game against Pioneer on Tuesday night. The game is about 6 minutes from tip-off. Molino, we mentioned they've had some struggles. They're 3-10 on the season. However, they really played really well on Thursday night against Annalee as they only fell 60-50 and maybe getting better. They're on a 6-game losing streak right now, but there's some athletic players on this team, so the Trojans definitely can't go to sleep on them, and they've shot well. The defense has been the struggle for them in a lot of their losses. Molino's 2 wins on the year. They put 73 on Willits and got a 5-point victory over Fort Bragg. Ben Vandermeer joining me here tonight, at least briefly, and then he'll be running camera for some of the night tonight. We thank you for joining us. Trojans, as we mentioned, 7-7, and they've lost now. Before LC, they've lost 4 out of the last 5 after a winning streak. A really tough loss to San Rafael. You can check that out on our YouTube channel. We were there. They fell just short to a good Dogs team, 43-42, and some close losses they wish they could have back. Really played well against Redwood in the 3rd place game of the Rose Tourney, fell 49-46. So the Trojans hope that they can got the experience from some of their close losses in games where they just went suddenly cold and use that today here. They want to get confident, especially something that the team's been struggling with shooting-wise. It's been the Jack Anderson and Devin Gottschall show inside almost the whole season. Molino, not big on size, is going to struggle to contain them. But the question is here tonight, can the Trojans continue to score and find it from other sources if Gottschall and Anderson aren't scoring? That was an issue in that San Rafael loss when they could only put 42 points up on the Dogs. They bring their defense every night, and the zone defense by the Trojans has been fantastic, but they have to be very concerned. Hi, Serena. They have to be very, hi, Maria. They have to be very concerned about what they do when their 2-star players go cold. One excitement, Kenny Alexander makes his home debut, ineligible transfer from Cardinal Newman. Got a little bit of playing time against LC Allen, and now he will get to play again here, first time in front of the home crowd. And another big man. The Trojans are hoping big things from him as they develop and hope to get more confident with their shot. Trojans hope that Justin Walbert, Trey Davis can continue to get more confident because they know there's a good chance they could have an off night against a Pioneer or a Healdsburg. They need development. So development every night is huge, even if the Trojans are too much for the Lions. But we mentioned the Trojans fell to a lowly Nevada team, 48-42, their worst loss of the year. No givens, but they are at home, a rowdy student section. The Trojans only lost 1 game at home all of last season, with almost everybody returning for the Trojans. 8 returning varsity players and lots of seniors. You're going to see those up on the wall. You've got 8 seniors on this Trojan team. There's a lot of excitement coming in. The students have come out. They're 2-0, haven't played a lot at home, but that starts tonight. We mentioned Trojans don't want to look ahead on Tuesday night. It's a huge game against undefeated Pioneer in SCL. Pioneer nearly won the prestigious Sonoma County Classic. They have played absolutely fantastic They have some great players, Monday, Carpenter, and I know an injured guard that is just coming back. He are a very dangerous team. That should be the tough Trojans competitor, but Healdsburg has played very well so far, even with the loss of their big man, Landon Cortman. They've got a fabulous freshman, one of the best players in Sonoma County. So those would be big games, but the Trojans need to focus every single one, and maybe they didn't totally do that against LC Allen. They were only up 3 at the half, struggled shooting, but they burst out in the third quarter for a big 21-point third quarter, and that really put them in front and was able to pull away from a Lobos team that is always scrappy and plays well. Do you want to head up top, Ben? So we are about, and you get the scoreboard? We are about 2:30 away from tip-off. Both teams warming up. It is a very filled gym here tonight. The student section filling up rapidly with tons of students, even though we are on a break. And many fans from both sides have filled the stands here. Petaluma High has been off last 2 weeks, and they head back to school on Monday. So many students have been in town, just returning, and are now here to support their Trojans on this Saturday evening, and we appreciate you for joining us. Do want to mention we are in a bonanza of Trojan live streams coming up as the Wednesday night, the varsity wrestling team has a monumental match. Sonoma in the multi, likely going to start around 6. They beat Sonoma last year by 1 point, and that was the decider in winning SCL. So they're going to need to get another victory, likely against Sonoma. That will be almost the SCL championship match as they look to go back-to-back, does the Petaluma varsity team in wrestling. Oh, and then Thursday night, we will be back here in the gym as the Petaluma varsity boys basketball team takes on a good Sonoma Dragons team. Live stream starts at 7:30. Make sure, Ben, to record when the plays are happening. Record when they're playing. Players are now headed to their bench. We are just a moment away from tip here, and a lot of new banners put up on the gym. We'll be showing those throughout the evening. Really makes it festive and full and very intimidating for the teams, with all the seniors up on the wall and other nice Petaluma banners put up by the parents here. Really spirited gym tonight. Head coach Scott Bears for the Trojans huddling up, and now they disperse. Head coach for El Molino is new this year, Jesse James Henney. Here are the starters intro, and let's take a listen in to PA announcer Michael Barabalt. So there are your starters, and now the lights off and spotlight on. Well, they haven't done this before. This should be fun. This is actually taken off an Annalee tradition. Let's listen in.
Now let's meet the starters for your Trojans. A junior, 0, Robbie Isetta. A senior, number 3, Jack Anderson. A senior, number 11, Brendan O'Neill. A senior, number 14, Justin Ward. And a senior, the captain, number 35, Devin Gacho. The Trojans are coached by Scott Bear, assisted by John Bear, Steve Hart, and Dick Youngby.
There are your starters. Boy, that was fun with the spotlight, the lights off, and flickering. And that is how you get it started as we get ready to go here. Petaluma Trojans Molino Lions. Look who's here. Napua can help run camera this evening, but first we're going to have the national anthem, so let's listen in. Listen and make sure it sounds well.
Roy was a beloved teacher. He taught history
Can you hear
and
Michael?
driver's education.
What?
He was also a longtime varsity baseball coach. In his honor, we ask that you please observe a moment of silence. Thank you. Please remain standing for the Star-Spangled Banner.
Well, the Star-Spangled Banner music just went out. They're going to hope to resume it in just a moment. There we go.
You forget that.
Can you get those on, see if it sounds good? And we're ready to go. There's the national anthem after an exciting intro. I'm not too loud? Okay. So we will see the tip-off in just a moment, and you have to go, Ben, but that's all right because we have Napua here to run camera. Make sure to follow the play, don't zoom in too much, and record when a play is happening.
Yeah.
Great. All right, thank you to Napua for coming. Thank you to Ben for all his setup. We are just a moment away from tip-off here. Anderson will tip for the Trojans. It's a big one for Molino, and I don't think a fun atmosphere to go into for them with the tension or the drama and all the pomp and circumstance before the game. A lot of fun, though, to see the spotlight and stuff. Anderson will jump with Curtis Lewis, the center for the Lions. All right, still sounds great. Thank you so much, Ben Vandermeer, for his help tonight. And Lions will win the tip, and they will start out on offense. And a loud student section clapping and cheering and standing. It's a hard atmosphere for a young Lions team to come into. We'll see how they do. Long two, off the mark by Seigert. The Trojans pull it down. Excuse me? Would you be able to sit down? Yeah, thank you so much. Trojans swing it around. Anderson, three is good. Well, you want to see that, and it's so good. Then that is stuck. If Anderson is hot, it's going to be good news for the Trojans, no doubt. The whistle and just wanting the students to move back on the student section. Thank you for tuning in live here from the Petaluma High School Gym. If you're just joining us, it's the Petaluma Varsity Boys basketball team taking on the Molino Lions. Trojans coming 7-7, but 1-0 in SCL as they need this victory as they battle for an SCL title, first time since 1993. A little press applied here by Robbie Izetta, the only starting junior on this very experienced Trojan team. Probing move by Valdez. And then kick back out again. Zone defense so hard to solve. But the Lions have shown an ability to score. They put 50. Another drive by Valdez. Jumper is good from Thomas Seigert. And a fair amount of Molino fans, probably about 50 to 100, made about the 40-minute journey south here to Petaluma to cheer on their Lions. Anderson being the aggressor, but just couldn't finish there. Jack Anderson averaging 12.3 points per game, second only, actually, that leads the team, including a high of 24 against rival Casa. He was absolutely unstoppable in that one, and that is just how talented he has developed. 3 ball is off the mark by Nicholas. And we'll see what solution the Lions have for Anderson. You have Lewis guarding whom is almost good height as the 6'4", 175-pound Anderson. But he can also hit a 3. That one off the mark, and he's so calm and cool. You can see it almost lackadaisical there on that 3-point shot. 3-2, Trojans have the early lead here, and a foul will be called on Izetta on the drive by Zach Hunter. Feel free to leave a comment in the live chat section, and we would be happy to get to you. If you leave one there, also like this video, and feel free to subscribe to the channel. Lions will have to be patient tonight. Probing move, pull up over O'Neal. Won't fall, rebound by Gottschall. Izetta has been hurt, so he's been out a couple times. It's good to see him back out there. He has struggled, though, so far. The only returning junior is he can't hit that lay-in, and Trojans were hoping that he'd be the breakout. Whitaker Ellis played really well against Terralinda, but he has now suffered an injury, so he is having to take a seat as Anderson come up and defends, gets the steal, and missed the lay-in. Oh, my. Well, that's almost the 2 last days ago from Anderson as he had an easy lay-in, just could not hit. Not a good sign if he gets cold. As Thad Anderson and Gottschall, as we mentioned in the open, it's been trouble at points for the Trojans. Swinging around. This is Chase Nicholas driving out to Valdez. Really had some nice moves, but totally out of control. No chance. Head coach Scott Bears for the Trojans yelling on the sideline, and now O'Neal the drive. He was fouled. First foul on the Lions. Fouls on Nichols, his first. Coach Scott Bears really done a masterful job. This is his 3rd year on the job after taking over for his father, John Bears, and all first 2 years he made NCS. Is a great inbounds play, and Izetta lays it in. That's what you want to see. And again, the light press applied after the made basket. 5-2 as we are almost halfway through this first quarter here, live from the Petaluma High School gym. It was the first time that a Trojan team had made back-to-back NCS appearances since 1991-92, trying to make it 3 straight times here. That jumper off the mark and pulled down by Wolbert. Now Molino cold from the field to start. Aggressive move by O'Neal, gave it up to Anderson. He couldn't hold on. Gottschall got one up. It looked like a clear foul. One defender got ball, the other got the arm. Valdez slips, gets it away. A little out of control by El Molino. Their new head coach, Jesse James Henney, trying to calm them down. And it's been rough for the El Molino basketball program because they've gone through so many new coaches. They had one for about 4 years, and since that, it's pretty much been hit or miss, and no one's sticking around too long in Forestville. Shot clock running down now to 5. Drive by Nichols, and rejected by Justin Wolbert. And that gets the student section excited. It will stay, however, El Molino ball. Don't know how the shot clock reset, but they're going to say it hit the rim, so it will be Lions ball with a fresh 35 on the clock. Special shooting section with a good probably about 100 people. Leads to a very spirited atmosphere. No, now they reset the shot clock, so Hunter had to get one off, and he almost hit a long contested 3, but off the mark 5-2, and the Trojans leading here by 3. Hey, Riley. Drive by Gottschall, and a foul, and he will have 2 at the line as more students continue to file in and send their greetings. Appreciate you joining us. Couldn't make it. This is a fun gym atmosphere. You're going to want to make it out if you can to a league game this year with all the excitement around the chance for an FCL titles. Gottschall hits the first. And the intro, the strong play. When Piner and Healdsburg and Annalee come to town, this place is going to be exploding Gottschall sinks both. Trojans have been superb from the line. Gottschall averaging over 10 points, second only behind Anderson on the Trojans, including a double-double against Novato, 17 and 11 in that one. Three ball is well short by Lewis, the center. Hunter was feeling it after he had one go in and out, and Wolbert pulls down a rebound. He is such a gutsy player. He's not going to show up too much on the stat sheet, but he just plays so strong as the three by Anderson rims out. Wow. Jack Anderson has got some great looks and a couple that have rimmed right out, and then Gottschall rejecting Hunter. There is just no room inside right now for the Lions to go. Flying hands everywhere. And right now the Lions might have to force themselves to take some outside shots if they are going to continue to struggle with the height that the Trojans have, much taller at pretty much every position. And one there, though. Good play by Siegert to take it to the rack, and the foul on O'Neal. And he will have a chance for the old-fashioned three-point play. But he's going to have to deal with the student section yelling in front of him. Rattles out, and Trey Davis, who just entered, pulls down the board, and he's going to be another key component. Can he hit some shots? He had a really nice game in the Trojans' last home game against Napa, a 57-45 victory. As Anderson hits the three this time. So confident in his stroke, and impossible to defend because he can shoot from anywhere, and it makes it 10-4. In that game, Davis with 10 against Napa, got to the line a lot, but he was a really good three-point shooter last year. The Euro step by Anderson after his steal, and he is everywhere so far on the court tonight against the Lions. And here comes Kenny Alexander to sub, and mentioned in the open. This will be his home debut, ineligible to play through non-conference through to 2017 due to being a transfer from Newman, but it was a big part at Cardinal Newman, their JV team last year in that prestigious program. As Alexander gets some cheers as he comes in, Gottschall will take an early seat. And he gets the cheers from the student section. O'Neal trying to calm them down so Anderson can focus on his free throws. Alexander did play at Petaluma Junior High and was one of the top players inside there at the center. Went to Newman, but realized he wanted to come back home and get more playing time. It a big impact, the junior. They hope now that they're in link play, helping with that size that they lost with Joey Potts, though the Gottschall and Anderson's prolification, they're not too worried about the position now. Certainly next year it's going to be big. The steal there, and Davis out on the run, and a hard foul. Davis will have two at the line. Hunter called for the foul. 12-4. The score, and the Trojans getting to the line early here. That's now the fourth foul on El Molino here in the first quarter. 7 in the Trojans in the bonus. Fouls reset at halftime. Davis misses the first, and he has been dealing with some injuries. Also on varsity football, got hurt, so he was out a couple games, returned at the Rose tournament. Just hasn't totally seemed to found his stroke yet. Something that the Trojans really want so they can stretch the floor with some three-point shooters, along with Anderson and Gottschall inside. Good steal on the press by Wolbert. Pump fake, but couldn't hit. Not really a shot there, and he's not a big shooter, as he mentioned, but he's a scrappy player, gets steals, and just a leader, also varsity football quarterback, so he knows how to lead a team. Elmo resets as they have struggled to shoot so far, and a double dribble is called on Stringfellow, and they have definitely looked a little bit intimidated by this atmosphere so far. There's a little bit of skill, but the shots have been off. They probably haven't played in anything like this throughout much of the season, but you know they have to be confident after only losing by 10 to Annalee. They were in that whole game with the Tigers, who, granted, are maybe not as strong this season, but nonetheless, there are always some talented players on Annalee. Anderson well off on the jumper. Good tip by Alexander to get it back out to the Trojans. And now Anderson, another three, and just off the back iron. He has looked so confident, though, tonight, and he's continued to play well. Almost every game, he was dominant in the first quarter against San Rafael and then went quiet. As Anderson again drives to the rack and lays it in. He has 7 to lead the Trojans, and now the shot clock turned off for the Lions, who can hold for the last shot here. And a turnover. Hunter threw it over the head of his teammate O'Neal the other way, and they use the lay-in, and now 17-4. The Trojans with a 13-point lead, comfortably in front here early. Anderson put 17 against Emmanuel at that tournament as the 3 ball is off the mark from the Lions. Anderson the drive, clock down to 1. O'Neal at the buzzer gets it to go. What a great first quarter for the Trojans. They lead 19-4, and that was very dominant in almost all phases of the game, as really outstanding shooting, and a couple shots didn't fall early for the Trojans, but they did not panic at all, and they are comfortably in front here early, 19-4, but obviously do not want to go to sleep at all, as we are going to throw it me down here. Thank you to Napua Lavilla for running camera this evening, as I'm Griffin Epstein joining you here courtside with the score 19-4 at the end of the first quarter. Trojans with the lead and with all the momentum, playing very confident so far. Anderson just looks so confident out there, and he played well at that Clovis tournament where the Trojans were going up against Sanger, Carothers, Emmanuel, and El Capitan, some really talented Division I teams there, and Anderson played well, so he has the confidence. The Trojans will be a little bit concerned, though, about some of their other players that don't have the confidence. Oh, is Riley Wisman going to join me here? I think he got to turn it. Now it is on.
All right. Looks like, am I in the shot? Or Adam
yeah,
in the
you're
shot?
right in the shot.
Looks like, are we live, Griff?
We are live
we
on
are
YouTube,
live?
Riley.
All right. Looks like we got Trojans up 19-4.
Some color commentary?
I'd love to, if that's okay with
wonderful.
you. Sounds like a great time, Griff.
Riley, one of the star players on the varsity football team, was the captain of the secondaries. Let's get it back on court.
Looks like I'm taking this solo for a little bit. All right, everybody. Griffin, my man's got everything all hooked up. Yep. He knows all the everythings.
El Molino to inbound it here. Start of the second quarter. What have you seen from the Trojans so far? They look very confident, right?
I agree. It looks like their defense is playing great. Of course, I say that right when they take a bucket down. But you know what? I think Brendan O'Neal and Trey Davis have really been holding down the backcourt for the Trojans. Looks like their guards are playing really well. It's good to have Kenny Alexander back in the paint.
Yeah,
you like that?
A big one, the transfer. Stringfellow with the jumper there.
I believe the crowd is now asking if we can get another. Can we get another commentator in here?
We only have room for 2 right now. Maybe at halftime, though, we can do some more.
All right. I agree with that.
Is too strong by Woodsey. Trojans pull down the board, and they're going to hope to get more production offensively from Davis.
I agree. O'Neal there going right to the hoop. He agrees that they cannot stop him right now. It seems they have problems trying to get him to stop going to the rack.
O'Neal, one of the more aggressive players. He just plays with a certain level of confidence on the court.
I agree. That's great. And he really does. When he goes up, he seems to hang. Gives him a double clutch opportunity. Do you agree? I think that's great.
Yeah, just charges down court. He's not afraid. And another good inbounds play there. Anderson will head to the line. Trojans have been superb from the free throw line so far this year. It really feels like their experience with 8 seniors on the team has really helped out.
I believe that's a great factor to it. And Jack Anderson, the big man here, knocking down his free throws. I think that's really great, you know. Big man getting in the work there. And it seems like they can't stop Jack Anderson except for getting him to the free throw line. And that's not helping either, folks.
Anderson's so versatile, leads the Trojans in scoring with 12.3 points per game, and can even shoot threes, yet you can battle inside. And how does the defense even stop that if you don't have bigs to match up with him?
Well, you see, that was a big problem against Costa Grande, too.
Right.
Anderson and Gotcho both seem to go off for 24 points.
Yep.
And it seems like teams in league are going to have to deal with that same problem, too, with Alexander now getting back in the lineup.
Yeah, Anderson and Gotcho were absolutely unstoppable in the Trojans' 61-49 victory over crosstown rival Casa. There was really nothing that Jake Lee and the Gauchos could do, as they just didn't have the size.
I agree. It seems like, as I remember, Gotcho and Anderson both went off for about 24 points that game, outscoring the Gauchos almost. They're almost level with their score, just the two of them.
The big thing for the Trojans here is they lead 21-6, and the drive really nice. And the lay-in by the big center for the Lions, Curtis Lewis,
great finish.
is that the Trojans have had a few games this year where Anderson and Gottschall have been cold, and they've struggled to look elsewhere. What do you think they need to develop into to get some victories when maybe Gottschall and Anderson are having an off night?
Well, when Gottschall and Anderson don't seem to be clicking on all cylinders, I think it's best to go to O'Neal and Davis as primary scorers in the backcourt. And so in those scenarios, maybe when they're not feeling it so much, they can pass it out of the post, maybe let Davis and Izetta get off on some threes, because the junior Robbie Izetta seems to be getting a lot of minutes as well.
Yeah, Izetta got hurt, but he is back on the lineup, and they're really hoping to develop.
Oh, Alexander takes a three.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Kenny, you go, bro. I love that. I love that. The big man taking the three.
Man. Yeah, maybe getting a little tutelage from Anderson, who knows how to hit the big shot.
Yeah, maybe. They're getting some work in over summer or something.
Well,
but, yeah, it seems like wherever they are, the two big men seem to be scoring. I love that. You love the big men.
Big to see Alexander scoring, as we mentioned. Transfer from Newman, could not play until the Elsie game on Thursday, and he's already looking superb so far. 3 ball off the mark from Hunter. Offensive board, though, pulled down by the Lions.
I agree.
Fine.
And it seems like, oh, that was a great little shot right there. See how he got the inside pass off the ball movement?
Wyatt Stringfellow with the lay-in. And
Stringfellow.
how does El Molino stay poised here? They're only down 14, but it's a raucous atmosphere, and they're a young team.
Yeah, I agree. See, having a young team is less road experience with anything. And this is a great home team, the Trojans. Because, you know, when we're out there, no one can stop the Trojans. Really, we seem to go off quite well at the home field. So as we begin to see everyone getting in here.
26-10. 4:45 and counting to go here live from the Petaluma High School gym. Color commentator Riley Wisman joining me.
Well, great to be here with you, Griffin. Great to be here. Are we getting footage of the game too? Is that? Are we getting footage of the game? We're watching the game too?
Yeah, so they've got the up top camera right now, and then the scoreboard in the left-hand camera as well. We're going to have a timeout here by head coach Jesse Honey.
And what do you think they have to say? What do you think they have to say in the timeout, Griff? What do you think they're talking about?
Al Molino, I think, just has to calm down. They have some playmakers on this team, and you might not know this, but they actually played well against Antley on Thursday. They
Big league contenders.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but they only lost 60-50 to their rival Tigers, and obviously Antley not as good as they've been in the past, but that's still some impressive play. They tussled with the Tigers and showed their own. So you certainly don't expect them to back down. But you mentioned that nice play to Stringfellow. They've got to get some leverage with the Trojans inside and maybe get them into foul trouble. That's been an issue in some of the Trojans' losses with Anderson and Gottschall getting into trouble. But certainly with Alexander, as you mentioned, now the depth is a big man. It's going to be
they can really rotate in there. Everyone can always be fresh. You know, they can always get a lot of people in there. But, you know, I think the big key to this season is going to be the big men. It seems like what it's been all season. I think they're going to ride that wave throughout the season. I think that's going to be a big focus for them.
El Molino ball has really been remarkable. We thought that might be the weakness with the loss of 6'8" star Joey Potts from last year. But
yeah, he was fantastic to watch, wasn't he?
He really was. He was something special. But Gottschall and Anderson have really picked up the slack as O'Neal with the block there. And a great fast break and the lay-in by Robert Holmes.
You just love that, don't you? The fast break.
Yes, Trojans, when they can run that efficiently, hard to stop. They can sometimes get cold in the half court as the 3 balls off the mark. Another offensive board pulled down by El Molino. That has to be a concern here early for the Trojans.
Yeah, I agree. As we've been emphasizing throughout the commentary, the big men are the focal point of this team.
So they would like to pull down some more boards offensively, but they lead by 18. Izetta trying to get going. Corner 3 off the mark.
I'll take that shot all day, though. He's confident in his corner shot. He's got a lot of confidence in his 3-ball in general, so I love that.
And as we reach the halfway point in the second quarter, it certainly helps, I think, to be up 18. You can get a little more bombs away. I think a big thing here, Trojans got the victory against Elsie on Thursday, and now here against maybe a weaker team in El Molino as the 3-ball is pure from Logan Woodsey. The Trojans want to gain some confidence because they had some tough losses late in December.
Yes, they did. They going up to that tournament in Fresno was definitely a challenge for them, wasn't it, Griff?
Yes. So they're hoping to get some confidence here against Elmo and LC. Might be the two bottom feeders of SCL. No disrespect to them, as we have an offensive foul.
And I believe they have an Annalee game going up, don't we? Pretty soon.
Well, the big game for the Trojans, and they didn't want to look ahead to this, but if they can get the victory tonight, is at Pioneer on Tuesday night, and it might have not been expected coming in considering how Pioneer's basketball program has been the last few years, but they have played absolutely spectacular in the early season. They almost won the Sonoma County Classic last weekend. Actually got to see them play. They have some very talented playmakers, and last year they were a pretty mediocre team, but they have really improved vastly. They're, I believe, 11-3.
Wow, that's great to hear, because, you know, I love it when other teams start to step up to challenges, you know? It just makes the whole league better, it makes it better for us fans. And
So right now, I think the way the Trojans have been through cup struggles, tough losses, Pioneer's probably the favorite coming in. That game at Northwest Santa Rosa will be absolutely huge on Tuesday night, deciding who is the SCL champion. Healdsburg, probably the other team I think that would be the favorite for elite contenders. Isaiah tries again.
Great shot, that's what I'm talking about, the confidence in that shot.
And he just keeps on trying, and this time exceeds. He really wants to get going. Isaiah has struggled from the field, averaging only half a point per game. Only hit 2 threes, but they want to get him going as another three by Woodsey. Just hit one ago, and it keeps El Molino hanging around. Deficit here is 15
points. So, see, the Trojans are trying out a few different lineups here to try and switch up things after that Fresno tournament. I believe they're trying to see what other people do, like Kenny Alexander.
Nice move there by Holmes, who's got a lot of playing time. And he was a bench warmer last year, no disrespect to him, but he has really improved here for the Trojans. And he's been a force offensively. At a big game against Redwood, put up 6 points in that one, and he's shown some skill with another big man.
Yeah, I agree. He's a good-sized man to get right in the 3 spot, I believe. But you see, the thing about him is he's an ultra competitor. I played against him in football. All he would talk is basketball. He knows basketball. So he's a great competitor. I think he was sidelined last year as much as that finger injury. He's stayed during the whole season. So I believe he's been able to bounce back this year pretty well. Like to see him get a few minutes in here. Great board.
Gotcho can't get it. Gets a second chance, and he has fouled and will head to the line.
That's extra hustle. That's what separates this team, I believe.
And the Trojans now into the bonus, and it's been good to see that there's no letdown tonight. They had that really disappointing loss to Novato, 48-42, to the rather mediocre Hornets, the team they beat up last season. So there's been some inconsistency on this team.
And as we talked about earlier, the depth at the big man spot, as we are subbing in Teddy Critch and Kenny Alexander, we want to see them focus on their front court. They have a great backcourt. They want to focus on the scoring and rebounding on their front court. I think that's what can make them better a team.
And the senior Critchett, as you mentioned, will enter, and it's a huge lineup out there. This is going to be tough for El Molino to stop with Holmes, Alexander, Critchett, Izetta, and O'Neal now at the shooting guard. It's playing way down, and
we see even, I think Brendan O'Neal switching to the 3 spot, maybe a small forward position. Holmes seems to be at 2, and Izetta's taking the point.
So they're definitely playing big, and that's going to force El Molino to take more outside shots. There's been little room inside to generate anything with strong big defense. And the zone defense has been so strong for the Trojans all season long. It seems like even when they've been cold in some games, they always bring their defense to play.
Yeah, that's a great sign to see some consistency in their defense. I love that.
Foul on O'Neal. Trojans are still well out of the bonus, only the 14th foul, second foul on O'Neal.
And that's another big thing to focus on, the fouls. Because in high school basketball specifically, if teams can get to the free throw line, that's a huge bonus.
Jumper is good from Mac Osman, and that will make it 35-18. El Molino's going to have to put on a run if they want to get back in this one, but right now they've found a little bit of an offense after a really dismal shooting first quarter, and they're just hanging around right now.
Yeah, 14-point second quarter has definitely helped them get back into this game.
Offensive board by Alexander after Isaiah missed the 3.
Hey, go Kenny, bro!
And you could tell Alexander must have been so hungry having to sit on the bench and being unable to play.
I think he was. He did not like sitting in that suit and tie.
Right.
You know what I mean? He wanted to be on the court.
Steal, Izetta pulls it down. This time the Trojans will slow it down. There is a 14-second differential shot clock.
Yes.
Game clock.
That's why you let him shoot. That's why you let him shoot. As Isaiah knocks down a 3.
Isaiah really getting going. Is high so far, 7 against Terra Linda and against Santa Rosa. He's got 6 now, and that pulls the lead to 22. Shot clock turned off. Nonetheless, the shot is taken, and it will be a 3 shots from the line for Logan Woodsey. He's already hit a couple 3 tonight. He's certainly a talent for the Lions.
Yeah, you see, Griffin, I'll take that all day, though, with Isaiah taking those shots. So he'll miss a few, but it's that confidence that he keeps shooting that he will score.
It definitely feels like Anderson and all those big men you're talking about get even better if you can have that outside shooting, and Isaiah becomes a weapon that big teams like Healdsburg and Piner are going to have to come outside and defend.
You see, the 2 games complement each other. As the big men start to do well, the defense is going to have to crowd down into the paint. Then they can pass it out of that and get open shots around the arc. See, that's a great thing to have. As long as your team is aware of both parts of your game, it's great to have.
Woodsey hits the first, staring into a loud and very large student section. As
I think it's great that we have this student section right behind the basket, don't you, Griff?
And how hard is it for a team like the Lions, or really any team, to come into this atmosphere as it will be off Critchett and remain Lion ball, 15.1 seconds left to go.
I believe it's really hard, Griffin, see, because us as a school have a lot of school pride, and now we can put all that right behind the basket. They hear it all. They hear it all, you know?
3 ball off by Nicholas. Elmo pulls down a board, and then they throw it away. Outlet for Isaiah.
Bad pass.
Critchett plays it in at the buzzer. The reserve Teddy Critchett laying it in. Absolutely huge. Trojans have to be thrilled.
I love that. I love that.
Can you fix that behind you real quick?
Of course.
Yeah.
Sorry.
42-19, and the Trojans are getting production from a bevy of players so far, and they have to be absolutely
all right, everyone, I'm going to head out on this broadcast.
You're going to head out?
Enjoy the second half.
Thank you so much, Riley.
If that's okay with Griffin. It was great sharing this booth. Have a nice day.
That was absolutely wonderful. Play-by-play by Riley Wismid. We really appreciate that so much. He did a great job for us, as we have 4 viewers going on. There was some echoes, but they're apparently gone. Please, if you have any feedback, Warrior 5230 always tunes in. Feel free to let us know, as the Trojans have a big lead here against the Lions, and this is exactly what they want to see. They have really played superb. Our banner is falling down. Well, our banner is just fallen, so we'll get that in a minute. Oh yeah, can you help? Oh, it's all right. It was tottering anyways. All right, we'll get back in a moment. We're just resetting our banner here with the Trojans a big lead, and it's been a raucous atmosphere tonight. We really saw the great intro with the spotlight and the introductions. That was a lot of fun to see. And certainly it's hard for any team to come in here. Trojans only lost 1 game at home. It was to SCL champion Annalee last year. So the home court advantage has really been huge for the Trojans. They're 2-0 so far and looking to keep that going. Napua, I need help. We're still working on getting the banner going. Trojans lead is 23. As we'll hope to get it back on us before halftime. And if you did not hear, we have a bevy, a bonanza of live streams coming up. It all starts Wednesday with the wrestling team, a huge one against, there should be a little tie on the floor somewhere, a huge one against Sonoma. They will battle the Dragons, a team they only beat by 1 point. Well, let's see. Well, this. So that will be big. We'll be live from the multi around 6 o'clock. Can you just hold it, like try to hold it up and make sure it looks good? All right, we are going to head it back on us. Thank you so much again to Riley for the play-by-play. That was really wonderful. We really appreciate it a lot as I join you here behind camera. And 42-19, the Trojans all over the Lions so far, and it's been tough going for the Lions. They haven't really found a reliable shooter, but they put 42 points up. This offense really looking good. Anderson has been especially strong, but it's really brought things out on the outside as we have seen some exceptional play by Robbie Izetta. 2 threes. We've seen Justin Wolbert get involved, and Kenny Alexander has been a big force as well. So that has to be really good signs for the Trojans. If all the players can go in confident, that is going to be huge when they face Piner on the 29th. And it's going to be a huge game against the Prospectors. We mentioned it. If they can win that, then the Trojans will certainly be in the driver's seat on SCL, and they will have served notice really to everyone that they are a threat for their first SCL title since 1993. Yes, it's been a while, but head coach Scott Bears is doing a wonderful job for the Trojans, and his home court advantage is huge. This student section, with all their student spirit, as Riley said, has really helped out, and it's really intimidating for any team to come in here with the lights, the noise, and the spirit of purple. It is a lot of fun, so if you can make it out, certainly do. You want an interview? It's certainly helpful with all the students. We're going to have Serena Horvath. You wanna put on this mic? We'll turn you on. Okay, we have Serena Horvath and Ava Schafbo joining me, and you guys have been part of the student section. How is it supporting the Trojans?
It's really great. There's a lot of people in flannels and a lot of spirit going along, so it's going great. Yay for the first league game. Woo-hoo.
And how intimidating do you think it is for other teams to come into this gym and face this raucous atmosphere and all these students yelling at them?
They get wrecked. They get flamed on, man. They get flamed.
The home court advantage, you think, is vital to the Trojans' success?
Definitely. We're going to win. I mean, it's El Molino. It's 42-19. We're going to win.
Well, no disrespect, but the Trojans are up big here. And Serena is on the varsity girls volleyball team. You guys had a strong season. There were a couple tough losses, but how do you assess the team's season?
I mean, our season was really great. We had a lot of young players. Next year, there will be more like seniors, so hopefully we'll be better and we'll get farther in SCLs.
Well, it'll be a new league actually for you guys next year in the Vine Valley League, so that will change things up.
We're actually playing against Casa.
Right, Casa and Sonoma will still be there as they are the defending league champions now. And Ava's a member of our Trojan Tribune, and we just had another paper put out. Would you like to tell us about what the journalism class is doing?
It's going great. There's a lot of ups and downs, and definitely be ready for the next few issues because we've been working hard, and we'll get them even better and even more put out. So be ready.
Yeah, really improving, I think, right? Yes. All right, thank you guys so much. See you guys later. Oh, yeah, if you fix it all. And we got the nice Petaluma shirts that I believe they're heading out to the students. That could provide for a nice whiteout in the future. Thank you, Serena. We are under 4 minutes to the start of the second half. Trojans in complete control this one. El Molino's going to need to come out strong if they want one less gap. You can join me, Napua. Napua Lavilla, did I get the name right?
Yeah.
Okay. Joining me as doing a great job running camera this evening.
Hi.
And Trojans have looked strong, especially offensively in this first half.
Definitely, we're doing great.
And 42-19, how intimidating do you think it is for a young El Molino team? They're coming into this raucous atmosphere, so many fans, and the student section.
Yeah, the students are like really excited, and it's pretty funny to hear them like screaming and shouting like it's like a professional game. But yeah, I think it's pretty intimidating to come in here and like see all these like Trojan fans, and then it's just kind of like, oh my God.
Right. And the Trojans only lost 1 game at home this year. They're undefeated so far. Big games to circle on your calendar Sonoma will be live when Sonoma Valley comes in on the 11th. The Dragons have some talented players, so the Trojans can't go to sleep as they have Pioneer and Annalee sandwiched in between that game on the road. Then on the 18th, it's going to be the biggest home game of the year so far. We will be live against the Healdsburg Greyhounds, one of the favorites in SCL. The gym should be crazy for that pivotal SCL title. And did you know that the Trojans have not won SCL in varsity boys basketball since 1993?
Yikes!
Yeah, so both of us didn't exist back then, so it has been a lot of time, and none of the Trojan players were around as those players that won in 1993 are now likely with children, maybe some almost with grandchildren. So it'd be a big accomplishment. Other dates to circle, Pioneer will come in. That could just be the SCL deciding game on January 29th as they will face the Prospectors. Again, we'll be live. That's a Monday night, so it's going to be a Monday night basketball special. We have a special Saturday game, February 3rd. We'll also be live for that as they battle the Montgomery Vikings. One of the top teams in Sonoma County. Should be a really good test for the Trojans to go up against a really strong team, and they've had some tough losses. That would be a big victory to help their NCS seed because they really want a home game for NCS.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, senior night, that's always a big deal, and it's over against rival Annalee on February 7th, so do not miss any of those live right here. All those games start at 7:30 except for the Montgomery game, which is a special 4 o'clock start. So much excitement in this gym, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
So 1 minute to go, and we're talking about the live streams. We have wrestling. Yeah, great. Make sure to record. And wrestling on starts probably around 6 o'clock, I'm guessing, as the varsity wrestling team looking for back-to-back SCL titles. They're going to have their chief competitor as they will take on Sonoma. The Dragons are really strong once again. They only beat them by 1 point. Don't miss that. It's going to be our first wrestling live stream of the season. And then the Trojans, as we mentioned, Trojan boys basketball team back here at home against the Sonoma Valley Dragons. It will be a Thursday night affair, and we will again be live at 7:30. And then finally, it will be Friday night action, and it's a really big one for the Petaluma varsity girls basketball team as they are going to battle the Annalee Tigers, and they are going for their first SCL title in 5 years, and that will be a huge one against the back-to-back defending champions, or I'm sorry, Annalee SCL tournament defending champions. They finished second to Sonoma last year, but they're the favorites coming in, so that is a must-win for the Trojans if they want to win SCL. We'll be live Friday night, 7:30, varsity girls basketball, and that team has really improved. They are really playing good basketball right now, so there are big things expected for that game. And then the Monday following that, the girls will take on Northgate, a special MLK edition. Tip-offs at 4 of that will also be live. We got a lot of live streams coming up, so if you can't make it out to the Petaluma High campus for any of them, do not miss any. That we're underway. Start of the second half. Feel free to talk in the chat as we have Cooper Woods, one of our Trojan Live members, tuning in. As the jumper is off the mark, pulled down, offensive board by Valdez. That's one thing that the Trojans have struggled with so far in this game. Offensive boards, strong effort there again, and it will remain Elmo Ball. Really good effort there. Lewis throwing it off Gottschall to keep it in. It's going to be a concern. Trojans definitely have the height advantage, but you can't allow all these offensive boards. That hasn't been too much of an issue. Big issue last year when they went 16-3, 8-4 in SCL, finished third. As Anderson pulls down a board, was they struggled from the line and they committed a lot of turnovers, a lot of offensive boards. And if you can pull down some offensive boards, not allow any, hit your free throws, and not turn the ball over, no matter how else you play in your other facets, it's going to be hard to beat against most teams. And the Trojans most of the time have done that this year. It's just been some cold shooting and some times where the free throws have gone awry or too many offensive boards. 7 minutes here to go live from the Petaluma High gym. Thank you for joining us. Petaluma varsity boys basketball team taking on El Molino. Trojans looking to remain undefeated in SCL in their quest for a title. Turnover there. Valdez with the nice steal, and the drive unable to be finished by Nicholas. I think Molino would want to get it more out to Woodsy, 25, who's hit a couple threes. He's been big. Anderson from downtown off the mark. Hustles for an offensive board. Collides into the stands. And Gottschall pulls it down, and now a foul call. That is the effort by Jack Anderson to dive on into the stands. So it might have hurt, too. But they are still playing so strong, even though they have a comfortable 23-point lead over the Lions. Gottschall will have 2 from the line in front of the Rocket student section, which now gets very quiet. And not sure how well you can see some of the banners, but behind the student section there are banners of both the varsity boys basketball and varsity girls basketball teams that are very nice, and some other Our Town, Our Team banners, and all the seniors getting banners on the far wall that you might be able to see when we pan back over here, with both boys and girls seniors, along with some other spirited signs. It really makes for a great atmosphere here. Another little press here by the Trojans, and it's unnerved Molino. They've definitely had too many turnovers. 3 ball off the mark, and Elmo's had to hit those to stay in this one, and they just have been unable to do it, though. There's been so much production from everybody on this Trojan offense. It's been big. It's the starting lineup in right now with Wilbert, Izetta, Gottschall, O'Neill, and Anderson. O'Neill cutting inside. Step back, Jay. That was a tough shot for Brendan O'Neill, who was the team captain last year, averaging 10 points a game. Athletic drive by Valdez. He'll head to the line for 2. And O'Neill, one of the great leaders on the Trojans. He was probably one of the biggest breakout players last year and was influential in the Trojans' strong season, but they fell short of an SCL title. They fell to Annalee both times. They split with Healdsburg, but that they beat Healdsburg in the SCL Tourney semifinals. It just fell to Annalee in the SCL Tourney championship, but Annalee had 11 seniors. They only had 2 juniors on their squad, so almost no one returns on their team, and they've been through a lot of struggles early, so there's always talent there. They're always well coached, but Annalee maybe not the force they've been in the past. Oh, what a move by Gottschall. Wanted the foul, too. Beautiful spitting, and there's just nothing you can do. Head coach Scott Bears will call timeout, and the Trojans now lead 45-19. That's just a vintage move from Devin Gottschall, that spin move, and nothing you can do. And good to see Gottschall getting involved. He's been pretty quiet. Gottschall had a huge game. Riley mentioned it. Against Casa, he put up 24 along with Anderson, and they were just really unstoppable. Thank you. So they will continue to be big forces throughout the year for the Trojans. 45-19 lead. We appreciate you joining us. Feel free to like this video. Check out all our other videos. I got a lot up over winter break, so there's just posted varsity girls soccer took on Annalee last night, and it was a good one. They fell 2-1. They blew a lead, unfortunately, but they outplayed Annalee. It was an exciting game. It was a pleasure to call our first varsity girls soccer game, and that full game with play-by-play interviews and analysis right on our YouTube channel, so you can check that out once this game is done, along with we were on the road covering some of the varsity boys basketball games. You got the exciting Egg Bowl, which was really raucous atmosphere in the Casa gym with both student sections massive, and then also the Trojans had a thriller against San Rafael. We've got that, and a really tight one against Redwood. All those games there and more, all of our other live streams always on our YouTube channel, so if you ever miss them, be sure to check it out. Steal by Anderson. He throws it down. What a great play by Anderson to get the steal, and he sort of has a Riley is for frilled, calling him Slammy Whammy, and Anderson has pretty much thrown down a dunk, as we said, in every game actually since the Redwood game. He had a ferocious dunk after he just been dunked on, and a little bit of response. He threw down a big one against Casa and out of the open there, and he had the opportunity. And Joey Potts did that often once a game last year, so Anderson taking a lot away from that, from the star center on the team, who's now on scholarship playing basketball at Oregon Technical. Molino trails by 28. Awkward pull-up, and the bank is open on the Saturday night for Chase Nichols. And Molino gets on the board. First time here in the second half, their first field goal of the second half. Garrett Gehring has entered for the first time. He is rejected, is the junior shooting guard. Valdez the other way. Oh, beautiful layoff, but almost got to hit those shots. Sam Ketty had a buddy, and he couldn't hit. Gehring, 10 points so far on the season. Good to see the junior getting some playing time as he wants to get some more experience. And with 8 seniors next year, Trojans certainly aren't thinking about that now, but it will be much more of a challenge. And they're going to need production from the juniors. Dry bail Molino, but that size such an issue. You can see the aggression from O'Neal, but a little bit too aggressive that time, and they're going to call a travel. Devin Gottschall, the team captain this year for the Trojans, and he's done a fantastic job leading them as well. They've played so confident tonight, which is big. Even against Elsie, didn't look confident, but some tough losses after they went on a 3-game winning streak against Casa Vintage and Napa, which was really impressive as the Lions throw it away with the press. As all 3 of those teams will be in the Trojans League next year. Trojans will have realignment from SCL to the Vine Valley League that will include rival Casa, Vintage Napa, along with Sonoma and Justin Siena and American Canyon, who would be the top team with the Trojans if they were playing in the Vine Valley this year. But the impressive wins, but then the tough loss to San Rafael, where they really outplayed the Dogs, but just could not hit shots late, and a controversial really ending. Check that out on our channels. Trey Davis gets on the board for the first time. Good to see for the senior guard. And then the tough trip to Clovis, Riley talked about that. They dropped 3 of 4, and they were blown up by Stingers and El Capitan. Never really had a chance against 2 elite teams, but they had a tough loss to Emmanuel. They were up at halftime, but blew a lead there. They did get a victory over Carothers, but a little bit lack of confidence, I think, and they've got it back a lot tonight. Almost everyone has shot well, with probably the exception of Gottschall, and they are putting points on the board like nobody's business tonight. Good board pulled down by Gehring. Alexander and Holmes getting ready to come in on the next whistle. Under halfway to go here in this third quarter. Trojans up big. Anderson's 3 is good. He's well into double digits. Another strong game for Jack Anderson, and if he's confident shooting anywhere against Piner, that's going to be fascinating. Piner, not as much size as Healdsburg, so Trojans would love Anderson to have a big game. You can get Gottschall going as well. That's going to be tough for Piner, but they've got some shifty guards. So Robbie Izetta, Trey Davis, who turns it over after getting the steal, and a good save there. They're going to be tested against some strong guards for Piner, who they almost knocked off Mount Eden in the Sonoma County semifinal. They blew a lead. They lost by 1 point, and Mount Eden went on to should have won the Sonoma County Classic final. They fell to Los Lobos in overtime, but they should have won. Turnovers cost them that one in a crazy game up at Piner. And if you want to see more high school basketball videos as Wolverine and O'Neal take a seat and Alexander and Holmes enter, check out ysn365.com or check out their Facebook page as foul called on Davis and Valdez will head to the line. The YSN 360 does a great job covering Sonoma County High School sports, and they're covering a lot of the big games. They covered the Egg Bowl, their highlights of almost all the big games in boys and girls basketball and soccer and at the JC and at Sonoma State, and we'll go live every couple of weeks at some of the big ones. They were live at the Sonoma County Classic 2 Saturdays ago. Valdez splits the pair, and he gets the lead down to 30, but we will have another substitution here. But at this point, too little, too late. The Trojan offense has been dynamic all night long, and no answers for Anderson or Gottschall. Alexander's been big. Holmes with some good production, and saw Trey Davis with his first bucket, but good to see Izetta in there, and Zach Clark, another junior who doesn't get a lot of playing time, will likely get to play out most of the stretch here. He enters only 5 points so far on the season, also a member of likely the varsity baseball team this year after JV. Give off to Alexander, and he lays it in, and the foul. Such a hard force to contain is the junior center now that he's in there, and you think, oh, maybe there's still a little rust. He hasn't played, but I haven't seen any of that. He has been great, and not only does he have that height, but because he has that size and that weight, it is going to be so hard to bang around with him in the boards and get buckets. Gehring, the offensive board, couldn't finish. Clark has a take two. Alexander has a third chance, and he is fouled by Valdez, and he'll head right back to the line for two more. Might try to talk to Kenny Alexander after the game, so stay tuned. Don't go anywhere, as after the fourth quarter, we will be talking with the stars of the game and head coach Scott Bears, possibly after the Trojans really played confident tonight, and they're going to go to 2-0 at SCL. Alexander off the mark on the first, and we're going to see George Tynes enter as the bench is starting to get cleared for the Trojans. Another junior and a future for the Trojans next year, though the JV team is performing well. They blew out El Molino in the prelude today, and they are now, head coach Mike Avery has led them to 6-4 on the season, and they have played very well. They knocked off Casa, and they have some nice victories on the year. So they're including a couple juniors on there that will be up next season. So there's a future. Oh my goodness! George Tynes with a huge block. The student section has lost it. Oh my goodness gracious, you can hear the handbeat ball from here. The bench has lost it as they're almost losing it. The student section chanting, George, that must be the highlight of his high school athletic career. A ferocious block on Cases Phillips, who went up, and Tynes said, I might not get to play that, but you're not scoring on me. Wow. The junior sitzer doesn't get a lot of playing time, just 5 points on the year. Oh, but he made his presence heard there. And that is going to be on all the highlight reels in the upcoming days on our Trojan Live sports department. Molino pulled down another offensive board, and they will continue to battle here, just trying to improve. We're going to have a travel. Lions did not win a league game last year, so only won the year before, so they really want to see some development in their play and continue to improve. There's no doubt there's some talent, but they are really cold at points from the field. Too many turnovers, and the zone defense by the Trojans so effective and so hard to do too much against at all. 30-point lead for the Trojans. 1:19 left to go here on the third on this pleasant Saturday evening. Mentioned the varsity boys basketball team's next game at Piner. Girls will be at El Molino on Tuesday. They beat LC Allen in their SCL opener last night. Shouldn't be too much a challenge against the lowly Lions in girls basketball. And then they have that big game against Annalee. That will be their next home game. Friday night will be live, 7:30. Don't miss that. Varsity girls basketball team really playing well and had a good game against Rancho. That was our last girls live stream, and they battled hard in that game, fell just short. But they have really competed with some strong teams, and they are really improving, and they are gaining confidence as well. It's a lot about momentum and getting confidence with your shots for both teams. Shot clock running down here to 5. Gehring, a little pull-up, doesn't fall. Also a member of the JV baseball team, and it will be Elmo ball. 43.8 to go, and that means an 8-second differential between shot clock and game clock, as the Lions are going to try to go 2 for 1 here. They have a lot of their subs in. Sam Wilson Mentz, and now backing up and jumper off the mark from Shade Spellman. And Tynes running the floor and laying it in. Great production from George Tynes with the block, and now the nice running the floor and the lay. It extends the lead to 35 points over El Molino. Still not out of the 30. Or Trojans could go well over 80 points, which would easily be a season high at points. They've struggled to hit 50 this year when they've gone cold. Hasn't been an issue tonight. Shot clock running down. Holmes needs to get one off. Tried to draw a foul. No call, and that will do it for the third quarter. It's all Petaluma. They lead El Molino 57-22, and we'll see reserves on both sides play out much of the stretch. If you have any questions or comments, make sure to comment in the live chat, as we will get to you and talk to you as soon as possible. School resuming on Monday, and that means that the daily morning announcements here on Trojan Live will be back. So don't miss those live every school day morning at 8:30, including a sports. We'll have a sports segment, as always, with highlights from the entire winter break, recap of how all the teams did. There was a lot of activity for a lot of teams over the break, plus all the other announcements, news, features, stories, and all the like every morning. You can always check out if you ever miss those on our YouTube channel. And plus, we've got all the sports you need. All the football games are up there, live streams and road coverage. We got some of the volleyball team had an exciting season, and the PHS sports folder on our channel you can check out for all your sporting need, including all the sports from last year as well. And we'll try to make it out to a couple more girls soccer games, and of course we'll be live following the boys and girls basketball teams all season long, along with the wrestling on Friday, and then we'll also be at their senior night January 31st against El Molino. Start of the fourth quarter here. Holmes can't finish. Good battle by Tynes, who is really gifted. He didn't even play basketball last year at all, as Shane Spellman gets the lay-in, and something to cheer about for the Lions. But Tynes is with his height, and he's got a lot of skill, and at points it looks raw, but he could really develop into the starting center possibly next year for the Trojans and be something big, as the three ball is good for Trey Davis, and that's why they have him out there. Coach Bears really wants to see Davis get confident. He has started at points this year, and he really wants him to see him hit some threes, get confident. He was so good from the three-point line, helped the Trojans stay in the SCL tournament championship again against Annalee. He had a big game, hit a couple threes in that one. They fell just short up at the JC last February, but they need him to get production. He tries to take the charge, just Davis, but they're going to call the foul on him, shuffling his feet. Drac Fricker will head to the line, who also a member of the El Molino varsity football team, which the Trojans defeated on their way to a successful season. Finished second in SCL to Annalee. 60-24 the scores. Fricker's off the mark on his first, as we mentioned. Don't go anywhere. We have complete interviews and analysis after the game with some of the stars of the game. Little volleyball there, and it will be back court, as it was Phillips who tried to save it, and then no chance for Wilson Metz when he chested it over and back. Clark, Davis, Tynes, Holmes, and now Critchett in this ball game for the Trojans, as didn't get too much of a chance against LC Allen to get some of those reserves in there and get them some confidence and some experience, as they only won by 12 points in a three-point game at halftime. And a volleyball put back by Critchett. He's got 4 now, extending the lead to 38. But now that they're up big here against El Molino, they have the opportunity to really get those reserves a lot of playing time, get them confident, hitting their shots, and then when they need them in the big games, they can really get going. Clark crossing, couldn't hold on to it. Tynes to Davis, but Davis stepped on the baseline, and now we will have a timeout on both sides. 6:16 left to go in this one. Trojans are going to move to 2-0 in SCL. They're going to remain undefeated. They'll go to 8-7 overall. El Molino is going to fall to 0-2 in SCL and 3-11 overall. But Jesse James Henney knows this was a tough atmosphere, and there's a lot more opportunities for the Lions to continue to work on their play. We'll see how they do against LC and maybe Sonoma. Maybe could get a victory. There's some good shooters on this team, so we'll see. Elmo's next game will be at LC Allen on Tuesday night next week, so they'll try to get a victory there on the road. Trojan starters done for the evening. They will get a rest before the huge Pioneer game on the 9th, and then Sonoma, Annalee, and Healdsburg, so it's definitely not an easy stretch here, and they're going to have to stay confident, and to win SCL, they're going to, 1 or 2 losses is the most is what you can afford, and better not happen to the same team. And that's the big goal for the Trojans, taking that. But also mentioned NCS, they love to host an NCS game. However, a lot of the losses they had to make it tough. It's not a great-looking record. They could have beaten San Rafael, could have beaten Redwood, would have really been big victories. As Tides pull-up J is good. That's some nice range from the junior setter. Extends the lead to 40. And the bad loss to Novato that they had in early December, just their second game of the year, could hold them back from an NCS home game. But certainly if they would SCL in a relatively dominant in doing so, they still have a chance. Max Preps ranks them all the way back at 17. That would mean at the moment they wouldn't even make the NCS playoffs. That's got to be inaccurate, but realistically it's probably closer to a 12 or 11 seed. Spellman hits a 3, and the El Molino fans had a little more to cheer about. Cuts the lead to 37. 5 minutes to go here live from the Petaluma High School gym. Tynes swings it into Clark, and he can't finish. Offensive board, and now a foul. Clark trying to get in the scorebook. Just 5 points on his season so far at a reserve role. He'll have 2. Neither team near the foul. We saw Trojans took advantage of the line of their size in the first half as they were able to get some nice free points from the line, but this time not the same. 2 shots for Clark. So he hits the first. Runs continue to shoot good for the line. That's he. Holmes has taken a sheet, and Robbie Izetta, along with Garrett Gehring, has re-entered. So would like to see Izetta take some more threes. And Riley was talking about it. Robbie really looked just confident coming down the court and hitting some big threes, and 2 threes so far. He has 6 points, but looking a lot more confident and just taking shots, and that's what you want to see, and that's why Coach Bears has him in there. Trojan ball here. El Molino applies the light press. Clark breaks it with ease. An aggressive drive to the rack. Got too far under the hoop, and it hit the bottom of the backboard. Cautious Phillips the other way. Awkward looking 3 pulled down by Gehring halfway through this 4th quarter. Trojans well on their way to a victory, and another sporting news, Varsity Boys soccer team will resume their play as Clark turns it over on Tuesday. They're still looking for their next victory. It's been a struggle for them as the steal and the lay-in by Wilson Metz. It's been a struggle for the Varsity Boys soccer team, but they'll continue to battle. It's a very young team, but the girls teams will still compete for an SCL. They're behind schedule now with the loss to Annalee, but they'll get a second chance to face Annalee, and big games coming up against Sonoma Academy and Sonoma Valley and SCLs. They try to battle for the SCL championship. A lot of talent there. Gary gets a lay-in. He's got 4 now on the evening. And the wrestling team we mentioned, they opened up league play defeating El Molino. Didn't even drop a match in that one or any points. 3 ball good from Wilson Metz, who's got going. 68-32. Foul now on the Lions. Trojans will be able to, no, not in the bonus yet. It's 5 team fouls on the Lions. And a running clock here with this game well out of hand. Another press here, and good experience for the Trojans, and they continue to break it. It was a lot of trouble last year with some aggressive press from Annalee, so they're trying to work on that, no doubt. Izetta, the only returning junior on the floor. He played sparingly, but they wanted to make a much big impact. A little bit of a disappointment so far, but he's hit some big shots, and they're going to need good guard play against the strong guards of Piner. Critchett comes out of his space. And the drive by Teddy Critchett, not much of a ball handler. He made Fricker fall to the floor and didn't even realize it. Good break, and the lay-in by Aaron Daniels. Trojans reserves not getting back. Need to do a better job on that. Wrestling team all over El Molino, and then Sonoma, their second league match. They perform well, very well at some invitationals in December, including best performance ever at the San Marin Green and Gold tournaments, and up at Healdsburg in the dual tournament. They finished 6th overall, and their only loss was by 1 point to Shasta. Air ball there. Hey, Dominic. And Trojan will take back over. Student section has stayed here in full force cheering, and they're going to be here all season long. Hope that they can come out to some girls games too. I haven't seen that too much, but that could really help the varsity girls basketball team out when they need that against the Annalee. We've seen some times where maybe they needed some pick-me-ups where they've gone cold, and we wish they could have the students like the boys do. Clark was fouled, but they're not going to rule it on the floor, so he won't get on the line. Inbounds play is called. Trojans have had some really nice inbounds plays run. Some easy buckets. This isn't one of them. Izetta with the drive. Little Tony Parker pull-up. Doesn't hit. And then Clark with the jump ball with Phillips. Arrow points towards El Molino. Actually, I call foul on Clark. And the line's being wished by the Trojan student section. Varsity Girls Soccer next game, mentioned them, is Monday against Pioneer. Under a minute to go. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't go anywhere. Shortly after the final buzzer, we are going to talk with the stars of the game and see how they are feeling after a very confident and strong victory where they're approaching 70 points. Shot clock turned off now. They're not going to get there. But offensively, we're brilliant. They played so confident tonight, and sure, the Lions maybe not the best, but this was a really strong performance, and they look ready from the opening buzzer. There was no letdown, and this is how you want to take it into the meat of their early SCL schedule. Shot clock will run out here. Trojans are just going to run it out, or at least it's appeared. Now a late foul by Wilson Metz will prolong things. And that will do it. Final score here, Petaluma 68, El Molino 34. Trojans remain undefeated at SCL as they can keep their quest going for an SCL title. Players will talk it over, and then we will grab one of them for an interview, so stick right here. If you want to go back at the end of the game, it is all up on our YouTube channel, and you can always go back and check all of it out. Really fun intro if you missed it with the spotlight and introductions this evening, so I would recommend not missing that. Trojans play well in front of an entire student section. Stay right here, interviews coming up next. Well, okay, that'd be great. And then bring the check on Monday. Oh, yeah, just the $5 taxes. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you, Alex. See you later. Hey, Lucy. Hey, Lord. Napula, I need you. Napula. 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 Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you get on the headphones and see if it sounds good? Testing, testing, 4, 5, 6. All right, Testing, testing. All right, we're getting ready to go here as we work on our audio. We're good now? Sounds good? All right, perfect. So players are in the locker room right now, and then we are going to talk to them right after they get out. We're going to try to talk with Kenny Alexander, who had his home debut today, and it was a really good one for him and for the entire Trojan team, and he looks like he could be a big weapon. Looks like he could be a can you get the framing on the camera good? Looks like he should be a big, big weapon for the Trojans tonight. Would like to thank Ben Vandermeer for his help tonight, along with Napua Lavilla for great camera work tonight as well. Very helpful. So don't forget to tune in to all of our other live streams, like this video, check out everything else on our YouTube channel. And Napua joins me. Well, it was a fun game tonight, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was a great game.
And Trojans just look so dominant. How do you feel like they can use this confidence going forward? They got some big games coming up.
Definitely, and since they haven't been to SCL since 1936,
Well, not 36. That would be when our great-grandparents were playing. But 1993.
Right, that means if they can carry this confidence throughout there, then they can get to SCL, I think.
Trojans will try to win SCL. They are 2-0 so far, and hopefully gaining confidence. Probably best victory of the season, and it's also a season high in points with 68 points, and only allowing 34 points is the best effort defensively all season as well. So a team that was only averaging 49 points coming in and allowing almost 50 points a game has to be very happy with the effort of both sides of the ball. The one thing I think they want to clean up, offensive rebounds, was a struggle tonight. But three-point shooting was good. Anderson was so confident inside. He put the game away early, and this zone defense was really, really hard to stop. And fun atmosphere tonight. Students provided it well, so come out to support your Petaluma Varsity Boys basketball team if you can, and if you can't, then tune in right here as we will have coverage of them. It's going to be a fun SCL schedule full of lots of fans cheering and noise, and players should be making their way out in just a moment. Next game for the team is Piner, at Piner on Tuesday, and don't miss our 3 next live streams. Do you know we have 3 live streams next week?
Wow.
Yeah, Wednesday, 6 p.m. around approximately. We'll get the time on Trojan Live exactly. Big wrestling match from the multi. Thursday night, back here with the Varsity Boys basketball team. They'll be taking on Sonoma. Should be a good one. And then a huge Varsity Girls basketball team. The biggest Varsity Girls basketball game probably about 3 or 4 years for the team. They're battling the Annalee Tigers in a pivotal SCL tilt with the 2 front runners there. Sonoma is the defending champion, but they have really fell off as they lost most of their seniors from last year. So do not miss that. It is going to be a lot of fun. And then a week from Monday, Varsity Girls basketball team will continue. They are going to take on Northgate in a non-conference game. We'll be there starting at 4. Going to see if I can catch any of the players, if you could try to keep our viewers entertained until that.
Sure, I guess.
Talk about drama or something.
Oh, okay. I've been told to talk about drama. So at Petaluma High School, I didn't know if you guys knew, we have an amazing drama teacher. His name is Jonathan Knox, and he runs so many of the classes at Petaluma High. It's great. He does filmmaking, he does advanced film, he does drama, advanced acting, he does TV journalism, which is partially why we can broadcast to you here, because he decided that he wanted to come sit, wanted to create a class like this. And here we have Michael Barable.
All right, we're here.
What's up, man?
Just saw a Trojan victory. I'm feeling pretty pumped about our team.
That's awesome. So you're in broadcast journalism.
I am.
So what do you think is the coolest part of the class?
Well, just getting to work with all the equipment and doing live streams like this, it's a lot of fun.
Nice. All right. Hi.
All of us in Petaluma are very happy with the win tonight.
That's great. We love that feeling.
Rams lost, Petaluma wins.
Right.
That's true. Let's see. Also at Petaluma High, we have just a general great arts department. The spring musical is coming up. If there are any theater people out there that are watching sports, I don't really know what to talk about. Griffin totally disappeared. I think he's trying to get an interview for you guys. I don't know. Michael talk.
All right. Well, let's see. We're 2-0 in league. That's always good. Gonna be at Piner on Tuesday. That should be fun. We had a nice big crowd here. A lot of students were here. Let's see if Griffin will be back anytime soon. I think he's trying to get the coach for an interview, so that should be very exciting. We'll see that on Trojan Live, I'm sure, sometime this week. So I hope everyone's just excited as I am to be going back to school on Monday.
Sorry, I had to laugh.
You can sense my enthusiasm behind that.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I'm just so I'm pumped. I can't wait till 7:30 Monday morning when I'm going to be in broadcast journalism. I mean, I'm so excited to see Mr. Knox.
Love Mr. Knox, man.
Great man. So
players are coming back in now. A couple of players like George Tynes that don't get a lot of playing time. He got some minutes tonight and scored and had a nice block to the delight of our student crowd. Zach Clark also provided some good minutes off the bench. Kenny Alexander, the transfer from Cardinal Newman, he was able to get in and score a couple of points. I don't have the official stats with me right now, but I'm sure we will get those all up to date soon. I'm just looking at the schedule here I got. So next Tuesday, the 9th, we are at Pioneer. The next home game is going to be next Thursday, the 11th, against Sonoma. And then they will travel to Annalee on the 16th, and then close out the first round at home against Healdsburg, and then they'll play all these teams again, either at their place or at our place. All right, Griffin, here we go.
Thank you, Michael, for joining me. Kenny Alexander and Robbie Izetta, we're going to do a double interview with both these players, and that will be our interview for the evening. Right, so you're going to need to scoot over so we can fit all three of us. It's going to be a little tight. Oh, no, you're not sitting. Is Robbie making his way over? All right, we will talk with both of them in just a moment, both with strong games tonight. All right, can you press record and make sure to frame it? All right, we're going to frame it with both of us. Oh, we got a parent in here too. This is really full. I don't even know if we can see our banner anymore, but
Let's get it, Leslie.
sponsorship from Chipotle. Have we fit everyone in there? You can zoom out. There's a zoom out button. That might be helpful. Yeah.
Hey, Healdsburg beat Pioneer 43-26.
Healdsburg blew out Pioneer. That's big news. That's very interesting. All right, we are here with Kenny Alexander, Robbie Izetta, and friends. Kenny.
Leslie!
Oh, and Brendan O'Neill's mom. Okay, all right. No, it's fine.
But there is a little fundraiser here at Chipotle, so it's. I think it goes for boys and girls. No, I could be wrong. Otherwise, I'm advertising for the girls. But anyway, it's the night.
Just go to
Here you go.
Chipotle.
What day is that?
Tuesday.
Okay, Tuesday the 9th, fundraiser at Chipotle. Support both of your boys and girls basketball games with a fundraiser. All right, Kenny, your second game back. How was your motivation after you were unable to play through the first 2 months of the year?
Well, I mean, like, really the guys have been pushing me at practice, and we've just been pushing each other, so I was ready to go right into rotation. There was really I wasn't really, like, they really motivated me to just come out and do what I had to do to get the win, so.
And Robbie, you hit a couple threes tonight. You're starting to look more confident with your shot. What's changing?
I just came back from a little injury, just kind of getting back in the gym constantly with him, and the rest of the guys just kind of practicing on my shot constantly as well.
And Kenny, you're adding to that depth inside in the paint. How do you feel like your size and height will help the team and provide maybe some more rest time for Jack and Devin?
I think it'll help a lot because we have a lot of good teams coming up, like the more stronger teams in the SCL, like Healdsburg, that has a lot of height, and then Pioneer, that they run a lot, so it'll be good for me to come in there and give those guys a break when they need one.
And Robbie, it felt like the team played really confident tonight. How did you guys get to that level, and how do you hope to continue that as you have Pioneer coming up next, a big game?
Yeah, so these last two games, we really stuck together after our tournament. It was really tough competition. We'll get back to that tough competition, but just rebound. We need to put a bigger emphasis on rebounding, but pushing the ball is where we're kind of getting going as a team, and that just opened more offensive opportunities.
And finally, a lot of pressure to win the SCL title this year, first time since 1993. How do you guys keep your skill and your strong play and motivation and game in and game out?
I mean, because we really push each other in practice, so that's a big factor. And like our captain Devin Gottschall really keeps us focused and makes us good to go. So yeah, that helps a lot.
Yeah, like Kenny said, just pushing ourselves in practice, pushing each other. You know, we're a team this year. We're just counting down until we can get to that championship. Hopefully, we can raise a banner up there too.
Thank you guys so much. Congratulations on the strong game tonight.
Pump fake and wheel as well.
Thank you, Robbie.
First place in the league.
Team is first place in SCL right now, 2-0, and they are in a good mood. They are very confident right now as they are hoping to get put that banner up in the gym. It just feels like they're really playing as a team. Everything really working out. It was a pleasure that you joined us. Final score here tonight, 68-34. Thank you again to Robbie and Kenny for the delightful interview. If you missed any of it, it'll be up on our show in the coming days. Trojans 2-0, 7-6 overall as they battle for an SCL title tonight with. And they will be at Pioneer Tuesday and then again live Thursday. Don't miss all of our live streams. Wednesday. First base. Plays first base. I don't know when I said third base. Devin Goschall plays first base for your information. Anyways, Trojans next live stream Thursday, but don't miss all of our live streams Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Thank you to Ben and Napua for helping. I'm Griffin Epstein. Thank you so much for tuning in. A very good night.